In the world of celebrity, where every private moment can become the next day's headline, there is one man who has kept his biggest secret for nearly a decade. Sam Heughan, the name associated with the romantic hero Jamie Fraser in Outlander, with his smiling eyes and smile that melted millions of hearts, is also the man who gives the press the biggest headache with the eternal question, who is he in love with? Every time he is asked, Sam just smiles, neither denies nor confirms, only leaves behind a hazy haze of theories, from models co-stars to his own Claire on screen, Katrina Balfe. 10 years. 10 years of avoiding the spotlight on his private life. 10 years of letting the world freely imagine. But then, just one evening, one sentence, one look. Everything changes. On the evening of July 15th, at a grand film event in London amidst flashbulbs, dozens of camera lenses, and millions of eyes watching, Sam Heughan broke his silence for the first time. And that confession not only surprised fans, but also opened a new chapter in the man's life. A chapter written with love, sincere, private, and above all, very real. That night, no one expected that a question that seemed so familiar would become a turning point in Sam Heughan's life. He walked the red carpet as usual, stylish and elegant in a midnight blue tuxedo designed by his own brand Highlander heritage. Flashes flashed, cheers rang out. But in Sam's eyes, there was something different, an unusual calmness, as if he had prepared for something bigger than an awards ceremony. Then host Lucy D'Angelo, known for her straightforward, no-nonsense style, approached, took the microphone, and smiled. Sam, you know how much you are loved. But year after year, fans still ask the same question. Do you have a girlfriend? So tonight, in front of everyone, do you want to answer all the rumors? 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds passed. Sam did not answer immediately. He looked straight at Lucy, then glanced at the crowd who were holding their breath waiting. Then he nodded slightly, reaching out to take the microphone from Lucy. His voice was deep and clear, without a moment of hesitation. I don't have a girlfriend, but not because I don't want to love. It's because I have loved for a long time. I just haven't said it yet. In that moment, the entire red carpet seemed to freeze. The flashbulbs stopped flashing. The reporters leaned forward, and Lucy, who had interviewed hundreds of celebrities, opened her eyes wide for the first time in surprise. You said you love someone, is that true? She asked. Sam smiled gently but firmly. Yes, someone real. She's not a celebrity, and that's why I've always kept it a secret. But today, I want to change that. No flashy gestures, no affectionate images together. Just a few short words, but enough to make the global social network go crazy. Because for the first time in nearly a decade, Sam Heughan, Britain's most desirable bachelor, admits that he's in love. Real love. And has been in love quietly for years. Within 45 minutes of the confession, social media went crazy. The hashtag #SamHeughanGirlfriend immediately climbed to #1 on the UK trending list, spreading to Ireland, the US, and even Asia. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all were flooded with unbelievable comments. Is he really in love? Who has been holding Sam's heart all these years? Is it Katrina, or someone who has been glancing behind the scenes? Every old interview, every Instagram post from years ago, every behind-the-scenes glance was dug up by the internet sleuths. But Sam didn't mention anything more until he posted a single photo on his official Instagram account. Not a portrait, no hand-holding, no hug, no roses or sunsets, just a hand, slender white, wearing a delicate silver ring, resting gently on an ancient book, Jane Eyre. Under the photo, the only caption that made the whole world choke. To me, you've always been the real me. Just one sentence, but it echoed like a sigh of relief after years of hiding it. Immediately, image analysis experts jumped in. Some enlarged the ring to identify the brand. Some compared the skin color of the hand with that of his former co-stars. Some even turned to the entire list of people who had worked with Sam at charities, knowing that he was very active in community activities. A series of theories exploded. A primary school teacher, a former college lover, a little-known writer, or a fan who had entered his life in an unexpected way. The online community kept speculating, and the atmosphere became hotter than ever. But Sam remained silent. He did not explain anything further. He did not mention any names, did not like any comments. It was as if he wanted to let the world feel it instead of confirming it, until exactly 3 hours later, when he appeared on national television, on a live talk show, and finally revealed everything. BBC Two's live The Late Night Room that night achieved its highest ratings in 2 years, all because of one name, Sam Heughan. There was no script, no stunt, just a man sitting in front of the camera telling the story he had kept in his heart for the first time in nearly a decade. The presenter, John Markley, opened with a simple sentence. "Sam, you've just silenced the world. Now, everyone wants to know, who is she?" Sam didn't answer right away. He looked down at his hand, as if he could still feel the small hand that had once held it. Then he raised his head and said softly, "I met her at a meeting of a charity for disabled children 3 years ago. She's not an actress. She's not a celebrity. She's an education coordinator in Edinburgh. Her name is Elena Shaw." The name rang out across the studio like something very real, very ordinary, and very beautiful. Sam continued, "Elena didn't know who I was when we first spoke. She's not interested in celebrities. She's interested in children and books, and how the world can be a better place if everyone does a little bit." He smiled, his eyes shining with pride. "What I love about her is that with Elena, I don't have to be Jamie Fraser. I just have to be myself." John Markley looked at him for a moment, then asked, "Why did you keep it a secret for all these years?" Sam paused for a moment before answering, this time in a low, slightly hoarse but heartbreakingly honest voice. "I've been in love and lost it, in front of millions of eyes. At the time I thought I was strong, but in truth, I've never felt so alone. When I met Elena, I promised myself that if this love was real, I would keep it as a treasure. Not let it be judged, not let it become a tabloid headline. But today, I realized if you love the right person, there's no need to hide it anymore." The studio fell silent for a few seconds. No one said anything, but everyone, from those behind the camera to the TV audience, felt like they had just witnessed something so real, so rare in this world full of lies. A love that doesn't start with a halo doesn't need the recognition of the crowd. A love just needs two people to look at each other and know they belong together. When the name Elena Shaw was uttered by Sam Heughan on national television, the world fell silent for a few seconds. Then suddenly, social media exploded. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Millions of posts were shared in less than 24 hours. Fan pages, large and small, from all over the country, updated simultaneously. Sam Heughan confirms he's in love and kept it a secret for 3 years. The mystery girl is an educator in Edinburgh. It's not Katrina. It's not an actress. It's Elena Shaw. Fans' reactions were as varied as the love story itself. Many expressed emotion, happiness, and relief. Sam deserves to be loved, truly and peacefully. Elena, you've not only touched Sam's heart, you've made us all believe that true love still exists. Not a shipper ending, but the best ending. But there were also some confessions. So real and so endearing. I was his imaginary girlfriend for 7 years. Now I know what it feels like to be heartbroken. It took me 3 days to accept the fact that I'm not Elena. I cried and liked the picture of the hand with the ring. Amidst the emotional turmoil, something strange happened. There was no outrage. No one blamed Sam for keeping it a secret. No one expressed anger or disappointment. On the contrary, the global fan community seemed to come closer together, to share the joy they felt from their idol. Perhaps because, after all these years of watching Sam on screen, from the passionate love scenes to the quiet, lonely moments, fans understood one thing. He is a man who lives by his emotions, and he chose to love in silence, before daring to step into the light. The love story of Sam and Elena is not a flashy fairy tale, but a simple, quiet love song. But it makes the listener feel their heart soften, and most importantly, it makes people believe that true love does not need to be ostentatious. It just needs the right person and the right time. After all the buzz from Sam Heughan's shocking confession, the public's attention turned to the mysterious woman behind his heart, Elena Shaw. She didn't appear right away. There was no press conference, no personal social media, no pre-prepared PR article. But then, in an exclusive interview with Vanity Velvet magazine, Elena spoke for the first time, in a simple, gentle, and surprisingly honest way. The first time he asked me out for coffee, I said no. Elena laughed. I thought he was the kind of overconfident celebrity who would make anyone fall for him. But then I realized, Sam is the worst coffee maker I've ever met and the best storyteller I've ever known. He wrote me handwritten letters when he was away, not emails, not text messages, just smudged pieces of paper. But every line was sincere. Once, he sent me a hand-carved wooden bird because I said I liked sparrows, small birds that never fly alone. There were no extravagant things, no diamond rings or supercars. Their love was nurtured by the simplest things: letters, a wooden bird, a pot of lavender by the window. Currently, Sam and Elena are not married, but they live together on the Isle of Skye, where the sea breeze is salty and the sky is always cloudy. Sam grows lavender, tends the garden, sometimes writes scripts in a small wooden cabin next to the house. Elena teaches remotely and spends time with two poodles with funny names, Whiskey and Moira, a man who was once considered Scotland's most charming bachelor, a man who was once surrounded by glamour and emotional speculation. Now they live a life that no one expected, but one that many dream of, peaceful enough to write letters by hand, honest enough to keep secrets, and strong enough to step into the light when they are ready. They didn't get married on TV. They didn't exchange rings in front of hundreds of reporters. They didn't call each other by noisy names on social networks. But every letter, every hug, every dried lavender petal that Elena pressed in a notebook is proof of a true love that has happened and is happening. Not on screen, but in real life. Not for the public to admire, but for two ordinary hearts to find each other after seemingly endless days of loneliness. Sam Heughan once said, "Love doesn't come to make you more famous. Love comes to make you quiet down and understand. You don't have to walk alone anymore." And perhaps that's why fans are no longer disappointed when Sam doesn't belong to anyone on screen, because he truly belongs to himself and to someone he can be himself with. Will there be a wedding? Will they have children? Will Sam and Elena write a memoir about the years they kept their love hidden? No one knows. And perhaps no one needs to know right now, because sometimes it's the things left unsaid that make the story live on in people's hearts.